been searching, follow every step, every road, every single trace, analyzing, try to figure out those lines up on your face. You're still a mystery, those secrets kept away from me. Those doors are closed, closed, closed. How can you make the fire burn so brightly when you're so cold, cold, cold? Never as lonely as together with you, still together with you is where I wanna be. It makes no sense. Never felt happiness together with you, still together with you is where I wanna be. It's making no sense. Never involved in me, those dark sides hidden away from me. Those doors are closed, closed, closed. How can you make this fire burn so brightly when you're so cold, cold, cold? As lonely as together with you, still together with you is where I wanna be. And it makes no sense. As together with you, still together with you is where I wanna be. Making no sense. Never felt anything but pain. All you ever did was making me darker inside. Slowly I was starting to change, building this wall and turn cold just like you. Never as lonely as together with you. I never felt happiness together with you. Never as lonely as together with you. But it's where I wanna be. Find your zone every day. Find your zone every day.
Slow, think El Castro, knowing that the past broke. Not understand, our life's like a blast. Whoa, understand rules, it's eternity to blast mode. Listen, bands will be around, feeling steady though. Grooving on that speed when we up in the stereo. Listen, put the volume up, let's say what's up. Listen, all we doing this music, don't foolish up. Room with my team, 30 North, we around. If you're looking for them boots, out sale for the crowd. If you understand, listen, now being heated and fitting. Putting this out, can you feel it in the wishing?
You seem ready to give up. Keep going, don't you stop. A little ain't enough, 'cause I am amazing. So you wanna get to know me? I ain't gonna give you any help. Guess you're gonna have to show me. All of you, nobody else. So you wanna get to know me? To know me.
2014, tell them holla at you, telling whole scene. Make some bite at you, put it all and break apart. Hope you good, don't break apart. Essence of the dark twist. F it, you good, listen. Don't let them go and take your spot. Find your zone every day wishing. Family don't break apart. Damn, it's a cold ass world from the start. Everything we gotta do, stay young, concerned. Wanna change, young fella, damn, who you gon' learn? If you understand, listen. Now being heated and fitting. Putting this out, can you feel it in the wishing?
You seem ready to give up. Keep going, don't you stop. A little ain't enough, 'cause I am easy. So you wanna get to know me? I ain't gonna give you any help. Guess you're gonna have to show me. All of you,
it. Listen, you can call me sheep. You can say I'm lazy. You can say I'm weak. You think that using her would get to me, and if you're right, then you're in trouble, D. 'Cause I won't break, no, I know I won't wait. You're in trouble, D. But when it comes to her, you better keep it sealed. Don't you dare say a single word, or I will strike you where it feels. You think that using her would get to me, and if you're right, then you're in trouble, D. 'Cause I won't break, no, I know I won't wait. You're in trouble, D.
to the end of a one-way street. Wish I could wake up, but it's not a dream. Staring at the wall right in front of me. Need to get away, I can stay right here. Every day I'm wishing that you were near. I cannot pretend that I do not care. I keep asking why? You're still on my mind. It's been like a year since we're together. I should feel a feeling a whole lot better. I keep asking why? I have really tried. All these sleepless nights, I counted hours. Tried to move on, but I lost my powers. I keep asking why. Now I'm asking why. Tell me, do I ever cross your mind? Maybe what we had is so hard to find. Wish I could go back, turn the hands of time. Need to get away, I can stay right here. Every day I'm wishing that you were near. I cannot pretend that I do not care. These memories haunting me. I keep asking why. You're still on my mind. It's been like a year since we're together. I should feel a feeling a whole lot better. I keep asking why. I have really tried. All the sleepless nights, I counted hours. Tried to move on, but I lost my powers. I keep asking why. Now I'm asking why. I still miss your heart's kiss. Having so much fun with you by my side. Staying up late, catch a morning ride. I had it all. I keep asking why. You're still on my mind. It's been like a year since we're together. I should feel a feeling a whole lot better. I keep asking why. I have really tried. All the sleepless nights, I counted hours. Tried to move on, but I lost my powers. I keep asking
Time will ease your mind, working out the ways that you'll always be right. Light, can it wait? If we fell apart, would you want me to stay? Why do we always start to come back together right when we fall? Fade out, heavenly tangerine. Drain out, won't you come back to me? If it breaks down, you'll still be right for me. I could ease your mind. I know that you always got to be right. Light, it can't wait. I don't care if you think it's too late. We still got time. Why do we
century. get around despite the loss. I'm over here, gotta get across. Whether you like it or not, there is a moment meant for us. And now you made it, but I already played this. Not interested, open your eyes, let's get it done. Take my hand, just follow me. Shadow and me are one.
first, you'll hear them call. Be the first, you don't even bother at all. When there's no one to blame, it's a hoax, it's a chain, that's all. In the city of dreams, that is all you've been waiting for. Do you ever feel that this place is real and fine? It's a long last battle and no one will take the time. And it breaks me
All peak.
Wait a minute, let me explain. 'Cause I know the exit for all your pain. There is hope in a brand new day. You have to trust me, there's still a way. When the storm keeps rising up, when the storm keeps rising up, I come back for you. And when you think all time is up, when you think all time is up, I come back for you. I know what you've been waiting for. I know what you've been waiting for. I come back for you. And I know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. I come back for you. I see it coming, the second wind. I hear the drumming, the heart within. It's coming closer, it's in the air. I heard the calling, you felt the flare. When the storm keeps rising up, when the storm keeps rising up, I come back for you. And when you think all time is up, when you think all time is up, I come back for you. I know what you've been waiting for. I know what you've been waiting for. I come back for you. And I know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. I come back for you. Back for you. Back for you. I come back for you. Back for you. Back for you. I come back for you. Back for you. Back for you. I come back for you. Back for you. Back for you. I come back for you. When the storm keeps rising up, when the storm keeps rising up, I come back for you. And when you think all time is up, when you think all time is up, I come back for you. I know what you've been waiting for. I know what you've been waiting for. I come back for you. And I know what I'm gonna do. Yeah, I know what I'm gonna do. I come back for you. Back for you. Back for you. I come back for you. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Back for you. Back for you. Back for you. I come back for you. Back for you. Back for you. Back for you.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick. Radiant team pick.
Venomancer.
Radiant dire.
Admiral Conquer.
Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team Radiant team pick. Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Good steal and counterplay potential coming out from the Biver Rubik.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
I wouldn't be surprised to see an earlier BKB pickup. There's going to be a lot of force staffs on the side of Team Spirit trying to like just quickly get away before the Stormhammer comes in after that vacuum. But they're going to go for a Troll Warlord, one of the heroes that can actually man fight against Sven a little bit because you get both the blind chance as well as those bashes even through BKB. Troll Warlord, one of those heroes that can just, you know, as long as he gets a lucky bash or two, can just fight right up against the Sven in his face.
10 seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Also very good at dealing with Darkseer. You get that nice dispel magic, can get rid of Surge, get rid of Ion Shells. Really good to toss the Sven up in the air before he gets his beak. A lot of team fight control, so that's why VP has decided to just not give him the chance to pick that up here.
Ten seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Oh, Moxie, why? Is it because you have like 3 games on him? Is it why? Yes, that would be. I would judge you harshly for that. I am also a dirty sniper picker, so I can't say too much.
Ten seconds remaining.
Yeah, that's going to be the real key, because I mean, DK Phobos did such a great job with this yesterday. Like, he was able to rat very effectively, secure the Team Spirit the victory against M19 in a very clutch base race situation. A lot of really nice refresher plays, and the Primal Roars coming out onto the enemy PL, secure them that win. So I'm really looking forward to see what he does against the Ramsey Sven here, who, again, it's another way to kite the Sven even once he gets the BKB online. That's what they're worried about. They know BKB is going to come. How do they deal with him once it's there? So their answer is going to be the Iceberg Troll and the DK Phobos Beastmaster. And this is interesting too, because they're putting Iceberg as the Troll Warlord up against the No One Lina, which is a pretty scary matchup for Troll. There's a lot of magic burst damage that comes up from Lina in the early game, and Troll relies on his missed chances to stay alive.
Yeah, we do have the Lina pickup though for the side of No One, and that's going to be very, very exciting to see. We've got so many like signature heroes coming out here for the side of Virtus Pro, so I'm super excited to see, you know, these setups for these team fights. They've got quite a bit of it, but at the same time, Team Spirit, you know, they've got a very decent draft here. I'm excited to see FNG, see what he can do with that Rubik, but we're gonna head into game number 1.
It's interesting to me that they put FNG on the Rubik and not Biver. Biver is playing for Na'Vi, pretty much played exclusively Rubik if he could get his hands on it. Very comfortable hero for him, but they want a really early Aghanim Scepter on this Keeper of the Light for the vision advantage.
So Forge, just to double check, because I apparently had turned it off from playing Dota yesterday, make sure that your open mic is on in game, because someone said that there was no commentary actually in game. And partially that was me. My bad, guys.
Mine is online, so that's a little peculiar.
All right, so everybody's headed out over here. Looks like we've got Rubik coming around, placing wards. General movement, nothing too crazy.
The one thing I am noticing too a lot about VP's Team Spirit's draft is they're playing a very, very good vision game. You've got Plague Wards on the Venomancer. You've got Hawks and the Boars coming out from Beastmaster, and then of course eventually Keeper of the Light's going to get that Aghanim Scepter, get that flying vision during day. So Team Spirit is hoping to use this nice vision advantage to kind of disrupt the team fight that VP has enabled for themselves.
That's definitely a good point, seeing the fact that you've got the Coddle for the Unobstructed, the Hawk, and of course the little Venolings. So yeah, vision game, really, really good here. It's going to cause a little bit of problems if Darkseer decides to try to go for that Blink Dagger. If he's not careful, it could easily cancelled out by the Veno Plague Wards. But
it's going to be a smoke up top, though. Rubik is going to pop. Is going to see...
Yeah, the level 1 capabilities for getting a kill with this lane is actually so scary. They're actually... Are they aggro trying?
Yeah, this is going to be an aggro try.
Yeah, that's so scary because Cold Feet's going to proc every time with the Storm.
They're going to just swap out DK Phobos. DK Phobos is going to head to the top lane, and Troll, they did swap out as well, actually. ILTW is going to play the Troll, and it's going to be the Iceberg mid-Venomancer. But they do find a kill potential.
They find Solo, but they have no way to stop him from leaving, so he knows that if he tries to just walk away, that Boar Slow is going to be too much for him. This is still a very scary lane, though, to go top against. You've got, of course, the Ancient Apparition of, Cold Feet. You've got the Stormhammer, and of course you've got the Kunkka with the X marks the spot Torrent. It's a very scary kill lane.
Yeah, and they're gonna run dual lanes to try and deal with it. They're gonna keep Viper top with DK Phobos and just leave ILTW solo against Darkseer.
Yeah, they're trying to put a lot of pressure onto no one early on. We do have Iceberg playing Veno, which of course, kind of a gross hero, will give him a little bit of an edge maybe against no one, but of course no one, one of the best mids in the world. Rubik standing nearby, kind of hanging out there, and top lane, there's the Chilling coming out over onto DK Phobos. He's trying to run himself out there. Are they going to go for the dive? Yeah, he jukes himself into the tower. He's sitting so low. That salve actually going to be able to come in handy, but was sitting at under 90 hit points, I believe.
Oh, the pings are coming out. Iceberg wants to go, but he's going to miss the Gale.
No one trying to just run himself out. The slow coming out. This could be actually a very no one. Yeah, the slow coming out. Iceberg gets first blood here in mid.
The top lane too. They're going in on DK Phobos again.
Yep. Looks like he's getting body blocked by all of these creeps. Stormhammer comes out though, and Ramsey's just chunking him down. There's not much that Viper can do here. He's just kind of booping Solo over here on the side. And actually Solo gonna get the kill. He's sitting pretty low himself. Does have a salve. We'll go ahead and use that. I just don't know how you send anyone to this lane. This is just such a scary kill lane coming out here from the side of VP.
I mean, the only answer really is, you can see DK Phobos coming.
Stormhammer comes out again over onto DK Phobos. He just cannot get away. This Coddle he can't do much to help him out here, unfortunately.
Yeah, and now Chill.
Not for lack of trying, definitely. Viper's trying really, really hard. There's only so much that he can do. And now Lil trying to grab this rune, doesn't get it quite in time. He's just gonna walk away from Viper here.
Man, if he'd had mana for the Illuminate there, that might have actually been a dead Lil, but does secure himself a rune, which is nice, and Lil gets away, which is nice for him.
We've got another rotation coming out here from FNG, spotting no one over here. He does have the arcane rune. Looks like they want to try to make a play, but he obviously sees him. Yeah, there's the clip coming out here from no one. Says just get out of my lane.
This is still okay though, because Iceberg has still got control of the lane. He's still farming. No one has to wait for these creeps to come in. Iceberg free denies, free last hits in the meantime. So even though no kill opportunity is there, it's still some time wasted for the one where he can't farm.
Oh, Pasha's trying to run himself back here. FNG will be able to get the lift. Gets the clicks off. One more click is needed. Is he going to be able to get this? No, he might actually get taken down. Pasha outplaying him, juking and breaking those ankles. Yeah, the whoops. It was a nice try, definitely. I mean, you're a Rubik. You see a kill, you think you can... you just get juked around, and of course, that surge. Ring around the rosy going on bottom.
Yeah, and ILTW is actually farming very well against this Darkseer. Darkseer is...
This random scan. They figure something's got to be up, and they spot him out. Iceberg already just says, yeah, no, I'm going to go bottom. See if I get lucky with this rune. Unfortunately, he isn't. The top rune is regen. What a lucky scan, though, right?
I mean, it wasn't really lucky. The supports have been sitting top pretty consistently. They have this really nice lane ward, so they pretty much see where the supports are at all times. And after DK Phobos not getting killed for a little bit and still not seeing the supports, they probably figure, hey, somebody's smoked up, somebody's here, this is where they'd likely come from.
Corn coming out over here on mid, though. They will be able to land the Light Strike Array. Comes out over onto Iceberg. He's going to try to go ahead, heal himself up. The rotation coming out from FG going to be able to save him as well, buying him a little more time.
Yeah, with that salve, they knew they didn't have the damage, so they do back up. And FNG doing a pretty good job on this Rubik. Keeping his Venomancer alive, getting that kill onto the Lina for first blood was really key as well.
Well, I mean,
really
his
nice
rotations have really been on point. He's made sure that, you know, he's been around when needed to go ahead and interrupt any sort of ganks coming out over here on mid. They will try to go over here onto no one. The Gale actually doesn't connect, and I think they'll just reset, go back to just last hitting during all this. But yeah, that's a pretty feels bad moment when it's like, oh, DK Phobos isn't getting killed. I think I'm getting ganked. This is such a scary lane. But
yeah,
still more movement coming out. They get the lift over onto Lina over here in mid. We'll be able to land the Gale, and that's just so much damage coming out. Doesn't connect the Light Strike Array. Tries to just do whatever he can to put out some damage, but it doesn't matter. Iceberg's just playing this disgusting hero, and it's working out great for him right now.
And it's going well for Team Spirit too, because we've got a troll who's actually doing really well against Darkseer in the bottom lane because of the range.
Okay.
What is really dangerous for Team Spirit is they've got this like quad or like 5-stack on their hard camp, but if they get killed, they can very easily, you know, Ramses can just run over and take that.
Oh, they do pull him back though over here on the side. He throws out the Stormhammer. Doesn't connect over onto any heroes, but actually I'm going to be able to get him with that last Illuminate.
I mean, that's a pretty key kill. Like you mentioned, Ramses is very comfortable on this Sven, has been getting, you know, a couple of kills. He is suffering a little bit in the last hit department, only 32 and 11 compared to the Trolls 49 and 16. But the nature of having a contested lane versus really it's just Darkseer spam messing Troll up down bottom. But they're going to make the switch now. After that kill, Ramsey says, all right, I'm going to farm bottom. You go do whatever you want, top lane or in the jungle. Take that lane farm now on Sven.
This reminds me a little bit of some of the games that I watched at the International, where it's EG going up against a couple of these teams, and they just send multiple heroes to put a lot of pressure over onto mid. But during all this, you know, Arteezy had a lot of space, was able to do quite a bit of farming. So I'm wondering almost if, like, this is something similar. You know that no one's a fantastic mid. He'd send a lot of resources there, but at the same time, like you're saying, ILTW is getting quite a bit of experience, gold, and just a quiet lane to farm with.
Yeah, I think the only reason that the Venomancer is ahead of him is because of those kills onto no one. Darkseer has just been completely free farming, so it's no surprise that he's top of the net worth. But I mean, ILTW is doing very well for himself. He's already got himself his phase boots, his Aquila. He's closing in on his Morbid Mask. That'll be a very quick Mask of Madness, and he's actually going to go right for the BKB afterwards to kind of negate that Wombo combo.
Look at the immediately lane swap, though. We've got Pasha, who's moved himself up to the top lane now that ILTW was moved as well. And we see that Ramses has moved into his own jungle here, just farming out wave and going into the jungle, retreating, keeping up that GPM.
We do see some ancient stacks for no one as well. One, there's a triple stack by the mid lane, and a double stack so far by that top shrine. So the stacks, the recovery farm is going to be there for Sven. It's just going to be a question of how quickly can he take those.
You see the rotation up here with Lil, looking to put even more pressure onto the troll. Rubik does get spotted out over here in the jungle. Do you see them with that ward? There's going to be the TP coming out here with the Kunkka, hoping to get that X off. Goes around the corner. Low, can he get it? No, it looks like he's just not going to be quite in range just yet.
Yeah. X level 2 is still kind of bad, but X level 3, and once you get that level 4 range, it's really key. But really nice efficiency from Lil. TP is there, doesn't get the kill, immediately moves into securing his Sven some more stack. Man, this is going to be just a huge influx of gold for Sven, and I don't think Team Spirit has the tools or the capabilities to really contest that for him.
During all this too, Iceberg has just been having a great time over here in mid. Hasn't had anyone really bothering him, has gotten a couple kills on top of that, has not died yet either. Definitely getting that early momentum going that he needs for this hero.
Man, Sven, what a hero. He takes that ancient stack and jumps up like almost 1,000 gold just from that one creep camp.
I mean, that's the power of Sven, you know? That built-in cleave, being able to take stacks early, and having good supports too that make sure that they're stacking as well makes such a difference with this hero.
And with this being a hero that Ramses plays a lot, I mean, VP has to be totally used to making these stacks and know when he's going to want his timing, so they don't start stacking too early, but they start stacking around the time that he's going to be able to take them.
Oh, that coming out almost was able to take out Solo. Cold Feet does proc though over onto FNG. And we see a TP coming out. There's a little bit of action going on between Lil and DK. He's actually going to go ahead, use the Primal Roar. He's in a lot of trouble though now. Pasha making this rotation. Looks like Lil's still going to go down. Nice vacuum coming in, buys him a couple more seconds, but now Pasha's going to be forced to run himself out. Doesn't have such quite yet. Will get it at the last second, run himself out. And during that, looks like Rubik was able to steal the, what is that, the vacuum? Yeah.
It's a vacuum, yeah.
So
if he'd have gotten Surge, they actually maybe get that kill.
You know, Ramsey's hard at work here. Armin hard. He works hard for the money.
I mean, the really scary thing is just this Iceberg Venomancer. He's pretty much his Veil already. Just, you know, a couple hundred more golds. And once that's online this early into the game, it's going to be very difficult for squishy heroes like the Lina, the AA. Even Sven's going to have some difficulties. A lot of his, you know, tankiness in the early game comes from that extra Warcry armor. 15 extra armor in the early game is ridiculous. So the magic damage actually a pretty good solution to dealing with Sven, at least in the early game.
Well, that and Venomancer, he's a kiting hero. He slows bottom lane again. Oh, it looks like Solo not going to be as lucky this time to get away. Cold Feet proc won't go out over onto Biver, and we do get a steal coming out here from FG, and he's able to steal Torrent.
Yeah, pretty nice little cheeky combo you can do with Rubik now. You've got the lift into a Torrent. Already have your own built-in timer. You can just
oh boy, Lil goes to the wrong side of these trees here. Torrent comes out. There could be a nice and Iceberg, as if he needed any more money, will be able to get the last hit. Night Blast comes in, not going to do too much damage though. And this bottom tower looking like it's going to belong to the Dire very, very soon. Meanwhile, Pasha is going to have to run himself away from this troll. Did not enjoy getting hit in the face.
You know, most people don't, Moxie.
Yeah. I mean, it's the internet, right? I'm sure there's someone out there that probably likes that. Who are we to judge? But do see double Boars coming out, trying to invade this jungle. They do spot Ramses over here in the corner. He's got his Mask of Madness completed. The double boar slow is just so gross.
Yeah, they don't want
to be careful though. They don't know where everyone is right now on the side of the Radiant. They have to assume that they're about to get jumped on by quite a few people, and there's still a shrine up. There's only 4 of them.
I mean, the shrine actually just got
LTW.
used. I know that, but the shrine did just use, so they could take a fight right here.
They could. ILTW making space, rather not making space, but making use of the space. Being able to go ahead, wail on that top tower. The Torrent comes out here from Rubik. Nice slow getting thrown over onto Solo. I think they just want to back themselves out. We do have Primal Roar online as well. And the Poison Nova.
He almost gets the
Oh, he gets the Poison Nova off though. We'll turn themselves back around. Ice Blast going to be able to come in. We'll connect over onto Biver. Looks like we're going to lose Iceberg here. He's going to just get taken down. Now no one trying to run himself out as well. The X comes out though over on Ramses. We'll be able to pull him back, but there's another X coming out here onto DK Phobos. The Invis rune being really helpful. Doesn't matter. They know where he is thanks to that X. And now it looks like FNG will fall to Pasha as he just comes running over at him. Looks like he's going to try to grab that Keeper of the Light, but unfortunately just didn't have the Surge up and running or the vacuum at that point. But again, top tower gets taken down by LTW, so good use of that space. Although they do lose multiple heroes on the side of Spirit.
Yeah, really good engagement from VP there. They poke and prod. They know that when it comes to actual team fight, they have the advantage. So they're just trying to poke and prod, find the Venomancer alone. As soon as they see him, Stormbolt into the X-Torrent, dealing with the backline so that the support can't come in. And just isolating Berg. He does get off his ultimate, but because of the run buff, and he was just a little bit shy of level 2 ultimate, they were able to take that fight.
Darkseer has multiple raindrops. Those don't stack. He'll lose a raindrop from right? He'll lose a raindrop from the 5 and the 1 stack.
As far as I know, they don't stack. Yeah, what you can do if you want to double buy them is put them in the backpack, but as far as I know, this doesn't work.
Oh no, Ice Blast does connect though over here onto your big FNG in a little bit of trouble here. Here comes the boat though, will get thrown out over onto DK Phobos. Torn comes out over here as well. This double board slow. Phobos trying to do his best here. Will turn around. The cold feet does proc. They're going to be able to go ahead, use that veil coming Iceberg, and now no one's going to come join in the fight. They've got their eyes over here onto Iceberg. They do pull the troll in though, using the Keeper of the Light ultimate. So already this fight should be turning around considering that Ramses is top.
And Biver's already got his 4-staff. He's been farming effectively, so he's got his 4-staff online. Actually saves the Beastmaster there. Gets him just out of range of both the Lena Dragon Slave as well as the Cold Feet proc that was about to go off. So Biver doing a really nice job there, both with the Blinding Light as well as the 4-staff play to keep his DK Phobos alive.
Look at all the sentry wards that got placed over here on the side.
That'll happen in a team fight. You'll just be like fighting and you think somebody's in
1, 2, 3. You know, blocking camp though with this one at least. Trying not to give Ramses any more room to farm. He has been hanging out here in the top lane, doing something similar to what ILTW was doing whenever his team is fighting, trying to do some split push, getting up his farm.
Well, the way that Ramses is Sven a lot is he gets the Echo Saber, he gets the Mask of Madness, which we see, and then he starts showing up to fights once he has his Blink Dagger. Those are like his trifecta of 3 items that he really likes. He can fight before that, as we've seen, we saw down bottom earlier, but that's his like trifecta of like, okay, I'm ready to go. He takes a couple of fights with those 3 items, and then he's like, okay, I'll be right back. I'm gonna go farm out my BKB, and then he's really starting to come online. Ramsey's really good at waiting until he has his proper items and recognizing that they need those items before he can take more fights.
Well, that's something that he's really well known for, is his item timing and his efficiency. He knows, all right, I need to get this item to be really, really effective in these team fights. I'm just going to focus on getting that. Once I have it, then it's go time. Then we start seeing them take those objectives and taking a lot of team fights, like you said. But do you have a smoke coming out over here? Lena's trying to get that Fiery Soul stack started, and
she's got Bloodstone. They want to
she's
fight
got
right
that
now.
Oh, that Arcane Rune. They do spot FNG. Vacuum comes out. He's just thrown up into the air with that Torrent next combo.
And she gets the Arcane Rune on top.
That's the life, right?
That is the life. Biver might be in a bit of trouble though if he doesn't start running. No one runs down instead of up, so Biver gets to live for now.
I'm getting so close to this Blink Dagger timing too over here on Ramses.
On the flip side though, Troll does have BKB. Oh, this will be fresh BKB versus fresh Bloodstone. We'll see who takes that advantage.
Yeah, that'll be a huge reveal. They actually go for the smoke though, and they have the ward. They know that they're going to be coming into their jungle. Oh, yeah, they realize it right away. Oh man, we just smoked on top of a ward. Looks like they're just going to group up then. And not even bother, since they know that they're there. The Iron Shell doing so much work here over on Sven as well. It's actually such a good combo. Darkseer Sven, you know, being able to speed up this hero that, you know, sometimes has some problems with being kited, but also the extra damage on him with the Ion Shell when you're in the middle of everything is just so scary if you're on the enemy team.
Yeah, and Surge with the Venom and the enemy team is really good too, because you can just, again, if you get Galed, that nice 50% slow, just Surge and run away. And Darkseer also a natural pipe builder, as we see him going into here, so really nice draft coming out from VP. And of course, it's just a Pasha classic as well, so really nice synergy. Troll now gonna go for the defusal. They really want to kite Sven around as much as possible. They've identified him as threat number 1.
Well, anything you can do to fight the Sven, disable him, make it so that he can't hit. I mean, I'm surprised that we're not seeing someone thinking about getting a Heaven's Halberd, because that is something that Sven really, really hates to see on the enemy team and is really strong right now.
I'm sure we'll see DK Phobos grab one later. Maybe Iceberg grabs it, but it'll probably be DK Phobos.
Yeah, I'd assume it'd be DK Phobos. Makes more sense on him. But they'll go in for this Roach. They will use a scan over here on the side. They don't see anyone. These little Plague Wards give them quite a bit of vision.
Yeah, and Ramsey's actually changing his mind. He's decided, I don't want the Blink Dagger. They grab one on Lena, so probably going to rely on the Lena with the Kunkka and the Darkseer for the initiation, and he just wants to be able to dish out as much damage as he can in those team fights. He doesn't want to have to waste item slots on that mobility item.
Maybe he's concerned too about the fact that they do have the Venomancer who can just go ahead and cancel out the blinks. As a possibility. They really are just chasing after no one here.
I mean, their Team Spirit is very strong right now. You've got Aegis BKB up on your troll, so even if you burst him down, you've got that BKB when he resurrects. And it's actually a little bit scary for VP to take a fight right now. Sven isn't fully online. He doesn't have that Blink Dagger, so he has to, you know, BKB is better here, but it's also more expensive, so it's going to take a little bit longer for him to come online. And until he does, they can't fight him. And especially with this Necronomicon coming out now, the mana burn. I mean, Sven's already a hero that struggles with mana, so the extra mana burn and a lot of physical damage coming out from DK Phobos.
Now it looks like we've got a Shadow Blade being queued up. There's the BKB pickup though over on Sven, so that's going to be very, very helpful. And it's definitely a necessity when you have someone like Keeper of the Light going ahead and doing the mana leak, and then of course Venomancer, where pretty much everything coming out from him is magical. So that'll help him quite a bit in these fights again. Really relying on no one to probably get in there. Striker A, followed up with Darkseer, obviously.
Yeah. He's going to go back for the Blink Dagger now because he knows he probably still needs it. But just opting to now trust his team and let them initiate until he gets that online. After that, I think we see him go for a Bloodthorn. It's really good against the Troll because it pierces that the mischance. It's good against the Venomancer because he can't get his spells off. BKB is obviously going to be a problem, but the great thing about Sven is you Bloodthorn somebody and then you just have so much damage that they die before they can get it off with the duration of your stun. So I wouldn't be surprised to see him get that Bloodthorn later on.
I do see Spot Pasha over here, but don't opt to actually do any initiating. So Sven's actually top, wailing away on this tower. Got Kunkka standing nearby, and you've got Ancient Apparition, but they're doing their own little push down here. Ice Blast gonna come in, we'll connect over onto two of these heroes. But it looks like they're content to just siege here. They have the Aegis running over on ILTW. Iceberg can drop egg wards and just kind of chip away, but at the same time they do lose the tier 2 top. Sven actually popping the God Strength for it.
Both of these teams are actually so good at delaying pushes. You've got Ion Shell coming out, you've got Dragon Slave coming out from the side of Virtus Pro. And for Team Spirit, you've got Coddle Rubik, which is just like an easy way to just destroy a creep wave. You've got Illuminate, which takes them down to like 90% HP, and then you bounce a Fade Bolt around, creep wave's gone. Both teams are really good at delaying out these pushes.
We do see some push coming down here from the side of the Dire. They want to take this tier 2, really cut out the jungle for the Sven. Nice Ice Blast coming in though. Will connect over onto ILTW. Kunkka coming forward. He's got the Ion Shell being placed on him so he can just run in, try to dish out some damage. Hawk standing over here on the side. We'll keep an eye out in case any of them have Blink Daggers and try to initiate from that side. But no Blink over on DK Phobos, none on the Rubik either.
Pipe is completed for Pasha though, so a bit of that magic damage from Mancer as well as Coddle is going to be negated. And the mech going to help out a lot with the physical damage coming out from Beastmaster and the Troll Warlord. A really nice itemization coming out from Pasha. He's going to go for the Blink next for some extra initiation, just team mobility on the side of Virtus Pro.
That's interesting to know too. The Lina, you know, no one having a bit of trouble here in lane, having to deal with the Venomancer is an incredible headache, and they got ganked several times. He's actually top of the net worth now, followed up with, of course, Ramsey. So 12k running on Lina, 11 over on Ramses, and 11 over on ILTW.
Even though they have the stronger team fight, the early game advantage definitely went to Team Spirit. So Virtus Pro recognizing that and stepping back, farming the items, keeping their efficiency just way more superior. Team Spirit's been doing a lot of grouping and pushing. Even now, you can see them as 4 in this bottom lane. Whereas if you look at Virtus Pro, it's like 2 bottom lane, Lina doing her own thing, Sven getting babysit a little bit by Kunkka, but still, for the most part, doing his own thing. The efficiency coming up from Virtus Pro is securing them a late game advantage. Since they already have a team fight advantage, they're doing very well to secure themselves this game, despite the rough start they had.
Well, efficiency is the name of the game. They do go ahead, they pop a smoke or not pop a smoke, but they do go ahead and smoke. They don't have much vision though over here in the Dire jungle. Fast, most of the Dire heroes are actually just pushing down here in the bot lane, so I'm not sure what they hope to achieve. Maybe hoping that one person sticking around they can get a pick off, but they're not going to find anyone up here in the jungle.
I think they're hoping to find Biver. They know he's got, but he's got the eggs. I don't know if they know this or not, but he has the eggs online now, so they were probably hoping to catch him before he had that, and then move into a push.
Well, they know he's the only one who seems to be staying behind trying to do deep push, so if they can get the jump on him, that makes it a lot easier for them to go forward, push, and it puts a lot of pressure over onto Spirit because someone's got to go home then. Someone's got to deal with that, so they can't go pushing into the Radiant base.
Biver's been very careful about his positioning, though. He's got his gem online now as well. Been farming up these waves very effectively. He's actually just right behind Pasha on this Darkseer in terms of farm.
Now Pasha making really nice rotations early, showing up in mid when he sees that ganks are going down. He sees opportunities to be able to get a... He's been doing a great job here with, you know, got the pipe online. He's got the mech as well. Going to be grabbing that Blink Dagger, and I think that's when we're really going to start seeing some ridiculous plays coming out from both him and Ramses.
Right now it's a question of, you know, VP having the team fight advantage, but the vision advantage 100% is going to Team Spirit right now. If we take a look at what VP can see, it's basically like tower vision plus one ward. They just spot Biver up top now. Whereas Dire Vision, you know, they've got vision all over the map. They've got hawks, they've got wards. Team Spirit really being able to pick and choose when they want to engage.
Tower has fallen.
Do you have a bit of a grouping? I'm not sure if they're looking to push or get a gank or something down here. They're making space though over here for Ramses to be able to go ahead and keep farming. Got nothing queued up right now, but again, I feel like once we get that blink up and running over onto Pasha, which is coming in really, really fast, we're going to see probably a smoke and the team fight that we've been craving coming out from Virtus Pro.
Not only that, but I think both teams are waiting for Roshan. Biver being able to keep a really good eye on that, thanks to his I'm just going to walk by it and see if he's there or not. But that's probably what both teams are waiting for. And Sven's actually looking to go into an AC next, probably with this Hyperstone. I'd be surprised if that's either a Moon Shard or Meteor. So it's probably going to be the AC coming out from Sven, helping to deal with this physical damage. And Trolls doubling back.
More armor is better, right? He's already got the War Cry, which gives him plus armor, and then you get the Assault Cuirass, which will take away the armor from his opponents. So
it's also been buffed so that it gives more armor to your teammates now than it used to. It used to give like 20 and give your team 5. Now it gives you 15 and your team 10. So it's going to help his teammates stay alive as well. It's not just him. Casual farm of some Necro 3s. Those are actually worth a fair chunk of change. Worth about, I think, 180 each, or 200. So that's some nice gold for the AA to pick up.
I feel like this has been a game of, I don't want to say dodging, but every time that it looks like Team Spirit's grouping up, they're thinking about going for a push or a fight, it ends up not happening.
I mean, they
Oh, Roche is up. No one has spotted it out. This is big for them. Strength popped immediately.
Yeah, and they don't know either. Team Spirit has no idea this is going on.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Lena might blink forward onto the high ground here once she sees She might.
It's a little risky. I don't know if she's going to want to play that quite yet, just because she doesn't have that much for teammates standing behind her. You know, Solo's awesome. We love Solo, but there's only so much that a little AA can do. And especially with now having the Beastmaster. I almost said the DK Phobos. Well, it is the DK Phobos, but it's coming back as well.
Yeah, without having vision of the rest of Team Spirit, maybe a little bit sketched out to go for that high ground push. But, I mean, VP is doing a really good job of splitting up the map. Like you said, every time Team Spirit wants to go for a group up and push kind of move, VP just pushes out the other two lanes. They push out mid with Ramses, they push top with no one. They're not allowing to do this 5-man Dota because they know Team Spirit, even though they can push faster, they can't push 2 lanes faster. They still have tier 2s. Sorry, VP still has tier 2s in the other lanes. And, I mean, they're going to lose much more objectives than VP will with a trade like that.
You have a little bit of jungle invasion coming out. They've got their eyes over here on this tier 2. Important to note now, we've got a Darkseer that has a Blink Dagger online, and I'm not sure if that's been revealed yet, so this could be a huge fight.
Not only that,
Radiant.
not only that, they've got AC on Sven. And I think, yeah, Pasha has cheese as well. They ended up giving the cheese to Pasha.
They know, somehow they know that not everybody is in that base defending because of the creep wave, so they're going to go make their way bottom, hoping to maybe catch out W.
We'll see if he can make it out. He doesn't have any kind of invis or anything.
Oh, yeah, he'll be able to make it out. No problem here. In fact, Coddle even going so far as to recall him at the same time, like just in case.
And Troll's actually doubling back for an S and Y now, which is an interesting decision because normally you see that going on in the early game. That's a very early game pickup that you go for. What'll probably end up happening is that'll get disassembled into Manta Style and Heaven's Halberd, but it's just most times it gets picked up early because it's very cheap early stats. It's not a great late game item, and I'm curious as to why ILTW has opted to go for it at 32 minutes.
Well, looks like the smoke was not successful coming out from the side of the Dire. Hoping to get that counter gank, but didn't quite work out, so back to farming the side of Team Spirit. And they still have an Aegis up and running over on Lil, so I don't know if they necessarily want to fight into this right now.
Linus.
No one was looking, he wanted to jump, but with all of these wards, it's gonna foil that blink.
Such a frustrating hero to play against that Venomancer.
He's in almost every single one of my games. Him or Necro?
Yeah, it's all one or the other. I'd honestly rather play against the Necro, but I'm just crazy like that.
They're both pretty terrible. They're both pretty toxic.
I mean, if you had to pick one, if you had to play against one, who's your preferred?
I'd rather play against Necrophos personally.
He just seems a little easier to deal with in the laning phase. Like, Venomancer seems impossible to gank. We saw
Venomancer, I play support, and they tend to be very, very squishy, so if you just run into Venomancer once, he gets a Gale off and a couple clicks, you're just dead. Well, there's just no hope for you.
Well, we saw yesterday VP picking it up against Na'Vi. Crystallized goes for the solo Chronosphere onto, I believe it was no one playing the Venomancer that game. And
there goes Solo here. He's going to get obliterated down in the spot lane. So that's a nice pick off for the side of Team Spirit. But what were you saying? I'm sorry.
I was saying that we saw yesterday Na'Vi in the game against Virtus Pro. He grabs the Venomancer, Crystallized goes for the solo Chronosphere, and it turns into a double kill for, I believe it was no one playing the Venomancer yesterday against Na'Vi.
Oh yeah. Yep. There are so many bananas in that game. How can you forget, Forge?
That's right. He was the spammer.
I feel like if you're gonna get, paired up against someone mid, that I mean, both of those guys, it was Dundee and no one. They both seem like they've got a really fun personality.
They do.
I feel like it'd be a really good time. Very competitive, obviously, but
very, very competitive. But both, friendly competition between those two. I think a lot of respect going back and forth between those mids. But Sven is now going to go for the Bloodthorn that I mentioned earlier. Does opt to grab it. Probably going to swap out the Echo Saber.
Top lane, we do see some movement going on here. Looks like they found themselves a Lil. And unfortunately, it's not going to be able to get out from that. They did have a... oh, that's actually... Yeah, they have the sentry ward over here on the side.
Yeah, and not only that...
Glimmer Cape, not going to save him.
Not only that, but you've now got Blink X on line of Rubik. So
That's
Sven
big.
might have to pop a BKB just to get away from this Rubik.
As far as we're not seeing any movement, I mean, seeing a little bit of movement here. It is daytime. They've got Coddle Ags. This might be a good time to try to
It's about to be nighttime though.
take an objective.
It's going to turn to night in like 2 seconds.
Surprised that they weren't a little bit more aggressive, but I guess they were still concerned about the Sven having Ags. Not Ags, sorry, the Aegis, but Aegis has gone down. They actually are going to try to push during the nighttime here. They do find a Ramses, though. Won't be able to go forward. There's immediately the wall getting dropped into a vacuum. Ramses, he's sitting really, really low. This troll is just bashing away at him. Actually gets the kill. Pasha trying to run himself away from ILTW. He just can't get away fast enough. That Diffuser coming in. The Laguna Blade gets used over here onto the side. They still want to try to grab Lil over here. Looks like DK Phobos going to have to run himself back. And Rubik might actually shatter over here. Gotta be really, really careful.
Run buff OP. 50% damage reduction means the Rubik makes it out there. And a really nice initiation onto Sven. We saw like no opportunity for him to get his BKB off. He does get it off in the end, but immediately gets prime roared by DK Phobos on this great Beastmaster, who now grabs that Heaven's Halberd that we saw him kind of building towards. And I mean, it's going to be really tough now for Sven to get anything done in these team fights. He just got everything dumped on him.
This Coddle Ags is just doing so much work, especially when you consider the fact that, you know, 2 of these heroes had to go home. Oh no! Oh, it looks like no one's going to get caught out over here onto the side. Laguna actually comes out, though. Should be able to maybe get this kill over here onto... Oh, yeah, there's the follow-up coming out from Pasha. He wants to get this kill over onto ILTW. The Diffusal comes out, though. Can he turn back around? Can he lifesteal enough off of this? He still has a little bit of that Ice Blast. He's still alive, though. Eventually, he does shatter, but they get the tower in the meanwhile.
I mean, this is still a little scary. They don't have their Troll Warlord, but they've also got a Venomancer and a Beastmaster.
Oh, and they're going to be able to get the roar off over onto the AA. Boat actually gets used over here. Looks like Rubik gonna have to move himself back, but Ramses is back. Ramses is up. He pops that BKB. They get a gem off of the Coddle, which will make them feel real good. And now Iceberg, he can't really do much about this. He's built pretty much entirely just for magic. Turns himself around, tries to kite Sven. He's got the Stormhammer, though. Phobos trying to come in here. Will be able to go ahead, disarm him. They'll try to turn this back around. There's a lot of damage coming out without that BKB. Iceberg's just doing 2 damage. The Warcry comes out. He's trying to just buy himself a little bit more time. Phobos, though, will be able to help take him down. The Laguna Blade gets used, but he'll still walk away from it.
Man, they just couldn't get anything done. The slows between Gale, Boar, and everything else, just so much slow coming out. Sven was like stuck in one place for so long there.
Look at the team net worth, Forge. Look at that after that fight.
Wow, that is
completely even. Look at that giant dip, and then look over at the experience earned. You know, we're talking about how VP were doing a great job making sure that they were, you know, split pushing. They were getting items, getting farm, getting experience. But after that fight, it just...
That looks like a really, really fun roller coaster.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that Heaven Halberd, though, like we talked about earlier, was picked up over on Beastmaster, obviously the better candidate, rather than Iceberg.
I mean, Iceberg does have something else that's almost as good. He's got the Solar Crest, which caused Sven to miss at least like 2 times there. And 2 times with Sven God Strength is a lot of damage that's missed out on. Might have actually saved Venomancer's life, at least until the Beastmaster could show up with that Heaven's Halberd.
That was so close. It was so close because he had the BKB up and running, and, you know, Iceberg just throwing out the clicks. That's literally all he could do when that BKB is up and running. Was able to stay there long enough, stay alive, so that way he could finally get off the Poison Nova Gale on top of Ramses and take him down. But again, DK Phobos coming in at just the clutch moment with that Heaven's Halberd. Such a good item.
VP,
like Heaven's Halberd and the, like, what's it called? Rod of Atos, I feel like, are such amazing. Yeah. Oh boy. Oh, that blink away from Viber.
The blink dagger on the Keeper of the Light. And a nice 4-staff from Iceberg.
Oh, FNG skills Ice Blast. We'll be able to turn around. The kill up front solo.
BKB that got popped by Lena down.
Oh, I heard a BKB. I wasn't sure who did it.
Yeah,
yeah, look at Viber leading the charge. We're not done with you yet. Come back here. Force staff coming out. We'll be able to bike this.
Oh, Roar's online.
They get the roar out anyways. And look, they're just throwing things down. Oh, the bounce back from Biver. He gets his gem back. He gets 2 gems.
Yeah,
that is like the dream when you're a support. Not only do you have a gem, you get the enemy's gem.
Yeah, he gives the spare over Rubik, who's just been like FNG's been doing so much work with this Rubik. I was a little, curious why they decided to give the coddle to Biver, but it's worked really well. FNG, a lot of really nice plays. Once he picked up that blink dagger, it's just front lining basically, jumping in, getting off lifts into X, into Torrent, like everything he can get his hands on.
Now Rubik has a gem, as does the coddle. Ice Blast coming in. Now FNG did steal the Ice Blast as well. They don't seem too concerned. They should be able to take this Swerve down very, very quickly. In fact, they finish it up. They give the Aegis over onto ILTW. And who grabbed the cheese? Venomancer grabbed the cheese. There's the jump forward immediately coming out from Rubik. Light Strike Array. Looks like no one's going to be able to walk himself out, though. And he does have his Lincolns online, so that's going to help out a bit.
Yeah, that's going to help a lot against the Rubik initiations as well as the Beastmaster initiations. I mean, they have a couple of decent ways to pop it. They've got the Diffusal Blade, they've got Mana Leak, which, I mean, is a nice spell, but it's not as nice as some of the other ones. Ramses pops the God Strain.
He's gonna get Mana Leak too. Luckily, there's a shrine nearby. It's not too big of a deal. They run over here onto the side. Beautiful wall vacuum into the Ghost Ship coming out as well. EKB gets popped though off of ILTW, and he's turned his vision back around. He wants to get the skill over onto Noah. Ramsey's coming forward though. He's just got so much damage. Halbert comes out though. Will prevent him from getting any more damage over onto Troll for them. Meanwhile, Agent does get popped. They turn themselves around. FNG is just gonna fall victim to Ramses. And they lose their Aegis, that they lost no one, and they lost their Kunkka. And there's another gem on the ground. Whose gem is that? I think that is Rubik's gem. Now they don't have no one. No one does have buyback. But I'm not sure if they still want to approach the high ground here, considering they just lost their Aegis.
Yeah, with Aegis offline and Cheese also getting popped by the Venomancer there. It's, I mean, it's just time for Team Spirit to back off. They've been able to use their vision advantage to just take such really nice initiations. Even though VP has the better, like, wombo combo and, like, team fight, initiations from Team Spirit have been so good. We saw DK Phobos do a lot of work yesterday with this Beastmaster, and he's proving his prowess again on this hero in this game against VP.
Still got both of the gems over on the side of Team Spirit. And that's kind of disappointing when you consider that, you know, Ramsey is just going to keep getting stronger here. He's pretty scary as it is. That Halbert, of course, doing a lot of work. But, you know, you generally hope that when you have an Aegis, you can get some sort of objective. And they did take a couple good fights, but unfortunately, because of the way that they went down, they weren't able to continue fighting, even with no one down. How do you think is the best way for Team Spirit to really approach this again, to go for the high ground? I feel like they still probably need that Aegis,
they kill
but should
no
they
one
just...
right now.
Okay.
No, they back off. If they killed no one right there, if Solo hadn't shown his face, maybe that
they do spot Lil over here onto the side. They're going to try to go. Light Striker Egg not quite landing over here onto Iceberg. BKB gets popped over here onto Lena. It looks like we did hear a Primal Roller over onto Solo. He's trying to just put up some damage before he gets taken down. He's getting slowed so much. Ramses, though, he's just man-fighting this troll. BKB is up and running. Can they get the Light Striker away? They're not going to be able to do it. And they're able to go ahead. They stun up ILTW over here on the side. We'll be able to take him down. DK Phobos, he's going to go ahead. He pops the Heaven's Halberd. Immediately going to follow up with Ramses chasing after. And there's so much with the vacuum coming. It's looking really, really scary right now for Team Spirit. Looks like FNG and DK Phobos are going to have to go onto the retreat.
I mean, that was a really, really good fight for VP. They pick off Biver in the back line. Ramses just jumps him immediately with that Orchid. And he just... That actually changed the fight so much, because that's who's been really pestering, you know, Virtus Pro with Mana Leak and Blinding Light as soon as the heal's coming out as well. So VP jump him immediately, use the rest of the team to engage on Team Spirit so that they can't respawn, and then Sven swings in around from behind and catches off the rest of the cores, even man fighting up against the troll, who some would consider the counter to the Sven because of all the bashes that'll come out.
Oh, the push forward immediately. immediately coming out. FNG in a little bit of trouble here. Maybe bought up a little bit more than Kachu. And the Glimmer Cape comes out, though. We'll be able to steal spell off of the Lina. She pulls the BKB. They're able to get the Laguna Blade off over onto Pasha, but it just doesn't do enough damage. She's pretty tanky here. X marks the spot coming out over onto DK Phobos, but it doesn't look like they want to continue back into this fight at this time.
I'm just farming up the nectarine. It's nice, casual 150 gold or so. And no one actually TPing
this
from
goes bottom.
TPing from mid to bottom lane wants these tier 2s.
I mean, Venomancer's down. That's definitely when I would say, like, oh, I don't have to deal with all these stupid little, you know, words. Yeah, I will take that any day. They do spot out, though, over here. Lil gonna be able to get thrown up into the air. They get the X marks the spot off as well. And there's a jump forward coming out from ILTW. He's found an opening. The X-Box comes in. Looks like they're gonna be able to get the kill over onto the Rubik. Laguna Blade coming out over onto DK Phobos, but looks like at the same time, no one's gonna back off from that fight. Solo, unfortunately, will be another blood sacrifice. And the Scotty's completed on LTW now as well, so even more kiting coming out from the side of Team Spirit. Well, we figured out why he wants the S&Y. He is just trying to get every slow they possibly can against Lina and Sven. They have the Boar slow, they've got Gale, they've got just Diffusal Blade, S&Y, Scotty. They are just trying to kite as long as they possibly can. It's a good strategy. I mean, I'm loving this halberd pick up over onto DK Phobos. But anything you can do so Sven can't hit creeps, it's always a good thing. The slow coming out from Scotty, you've got the slows coming out from the Venomancer, the halberd. Ramsey just dishes out so much damage if he's allowed to hit stuff. And that's a huge problem. Oh boy, Biver, I don't think he realizes how close he came to death there for half a second.
I honestly don't think Biver was in danger. I think if he finds the Sven, then that's a lot more scary because ILTW and Iceberg both immediately in the area. You recall probably Iceberg, he's a little bit less mobile. You bring in ILTW and you just kill that Sven, unless he pops BKB, which you're also happy with because right now he's at 6 seconds. So if you can get him down to that 5-second BKB, it's kind of a victory for you.
That's another thing I forgot to mention too. The Blinding Light Coddle will be able to keep Sven from hitting you as long as he doesn't pop that BKB.
He does have the Bloodthorn now, which will kind of counter. That's why he picked it up, not just because of the Troll Warlord, but also the Blinding Light going to come out. So with Bloodthorn online now, Sven at least has a way to reliably hit once BKB's down, as long as he doesn't get Heaven's Halberd.
Yeah, they're trying to protect him as much as possible. Someone's got a Lincoln's that's been placing on him. I believe that was... I think no one placed it on him in the base as they're coming out. They've got Glimmer Capes, they've got Force... Whatever they can do to kind of keep us alive. And what game was it the other day that we saw where it was like a yo-yo, basically? They just kept pushing everyone around in circles.
I believe it was Effect and Virtus Pro again, if I remember correctly.
That's possible. Was it Effect that bought a whole bunch of Force staffs? We just watched them being thrown around the entire time?
I think so, yeah. We've done a lot. We've done a lot of casting this tournament, Moxie.
It's just been so much Dota. It's been great. Always a game to watch right now. I'm sure the players are really exhausted, but
it's great for the viewers and it's great for the casters. So
affirmative.
Ooh, they get the courier pick off. That had the bots for, I believe it was probably Venomancer, I would assume. Still a really big pick off though.
Definitely, it prevents them from being able to just go back and forth the entire time, although they do have the recall on the Coddle, so it's not that, like, it's a big deal, but it's not that big of a deal in some respects, just because he can easily just bring people to him.
Well, it's nice because you can, I mean, obviously, like you said, it's not the biggest detriment, but bots online with a Coddle is such a disgusting combo, because you can very easily just bots to a lane, push it out, and then have Coddle recall you back, or vice versa. You know, you get recalled to a fight, and then the fight goes well, you bots to the lane, and you push it out. It's just a lot of, you know, extra mobility around the map, especially with this Beastmaster that, you know,
Beastmaster who's murdering Solo, or attempting to murder Solo. Nice save here coming out from Pasha. And while this is all going down, though, they do find the Kunkka over onto the side.
This stolen X
managed to get a pick off.
This stolen X marks is just doing so much work for FNG. It's working better on the Rubik than it does on the Kunkka.
Looks like they're going to try to get this push started. It's daytime. They've got the heal coming out from Coddle. They've got lots of vision. I think they were looking at Roche, right? That's their next objective. So they'll wait on that and just keep checking back at this pit. This is a really big deal for them. Still not up though. Still has a couple more minutes.
You know, I'm really surprised that Rubik hasn't been played more in this tournament. We did see Team Spirit actually looking back. They did play it against iPlay the other day. So they have played it in this tournament, but a lot of the items I've seen, not a whole lot of Rubik play, which is surprising. He's got Null Field, which is great against all the magic damage that's in the meta right now. You've got Zeus, you've got Venomancer, Necrophos, and then as well, you have the capability to distill any spell that's bothering you that game. This game, X-Sparks has been FNG's spell of choice. If he has that, he very rarely swaps it out for another spell.
It does a lot of work, like you're saying. X is just such a good spell. If you can get your hands on it, that's one that you want to hold on to for as long as possible. As many plays as you can as well. But still keeping an eye on the Roche pit. Being very, very patient over on the side of the Dire. Interesting to note, Lena and Sven still net worth though after all is said and done. 29k over on Lena, 27 on Ramsey Sven.
I mean, both of them.
Here's a bit of split pushing coming out here. Oh, TK Phobos runs around here into the corners. Randy the Asky finds his kill over onto FNG, pops the BKB and the God Strength, but at the same time, no one is just like hiding around over into the corner, duking around, trying to get more time so that way they can take that tower and those racks. More TP's coming back. They will be able to finally get the kill over onto the Beastmaster, but the tower goes down.
I mean, that was really well played by DK Phobos. We saw some nice rap plays coming out from him yesterday, but I mean, today, just upping that game again. The Keeper of the Light's going to really enable him with that too. If Lena doesn't TP back there and he's able to get like the whole lane of racks, he just gets recalled back into the fight and he's ready to go.
This fight has just been going on back non-stop. They get the Glimmer Cape over off onto Ramses, but they still spot him over here onto the side. They should be able to get this kill. And there's the recall coming out from Coddle. Roche is up. This is Spirit's time to go in.
Yeah, you can already see the pings coming out from FNG. You get right into that pit with Ramses down. He does have buyback, but I don't think he wants to expend it for this Roche. They're going to opt instead, push out their lanes.
They don't have much of a choice. They have to push out their lanes because they're going to be running at them now. Coming out here from the side of Spirit. They might want to try to get a pick off first. In fact, Pasha's a little forward here, does realize though that he needs to get back.
He just wanted that one last Ion Shell on the wave. Surge is back. He's got a lot of mobility. He's got a 4-staff online for himself as well. Not an item you see a whole lot on Darks here, but this game I think very useful against both the Venomancer and the kiting that's coming out from this Troll Warlord.
Now this is a little scary because they didn't get any sort of a pick off here. Spend down for another 40 seconds so if they can they can push that buyback, that'd be great. I think that'd be a definite victory for them, but they had trouble going high ground before with an Aegis. So let's see what they can do. With an ILTW immediately just running into the base. Goes ahead, he pops the BKB, maybe a little bit, but they do find no one over here onto the side. Glimmer Kid comes out with the BKB, will provide a little bit more longevity for him. Ice Blast coming in. There's the shout though coming in from DK Phobos. He does go ahead, grabs no one. No one could be very dead here. Beautiful vacuum into wall coming out as well. That Laguna Blade doing so much damage. She's just trying to fight her way out. And they're all just ticking down so fast here. But unfortunately, looks like we will lose the Rubik. FNG's going to go down. They'll maybe be able to grab DK Phobos. And we still have LTW. We do hear that the Iceberg Venomancer gonna be able to go ahead, pop that cheese, turn himself back around. They don't want to leave without getting this objective, but Ramses, he's alive and well, and he's gonna be able to get that kill over onto ILTW. Their window just closing, and not gonna be able to get the objective yet again. That's 2 times that they've gotten Roche, and they haven't gotten an objective.
I mean, you've been asking for the Wombo combo all game, Moxie. That was it. That was it. I mean, if Sven had been alive there, would have been a full team wipe, 100%. But really nice play with Boat coming on top of the vacuum, Torrent to follow up, Lena doing as much work as she can. She does end up falling. Even then, so much work getting done by Virtus Pro. Really nice execution, popping the Aegis, and then on top
Ramses. They use the Primal Roar. Boat comes out to give him that buff. Iceberg turns back around. He's just trying to kite non-stop here. They know God's Strength is going to go down in a few seconds. They will be able to get the Mana Lake. There's going to be the bots TP coming out here from No, and he's going to try to provide the backup here. BK pop though over from Iceberg. They'll turn around, try to take down DK Phobos. There's a nice vacuum coming in here with that ion shell. He doesn't really know where he is exactly, but he's trying to find him. We'll be able to go ahead, pop the Aegis, and the rest of VP just waiting for him to come up, welcome him back to the party, and we'll lose DK Phobos with that eagle sound as he dies.
I really thought Troll had the Aegis there, but I guess not. But nice job for VP. They do lose Sven. He got chased down by Necronomicon and Plague Wards there. Very unfortunate. But I mean, they're holding objectives, and they're back in the net worth is back in their favor. XP still 10,000 lead for Team Spirit, but starting to make its way back up. It was about an 18,000 lead earlier in the game. So VP, making that comeback. They're not out yet. Still no lanes of barracks taken.
I just don't know how they're, they've got the kill over onto Ramses. He does have buyback, but they're just not able to get any objectives. They're not getting any buybacks from him. They're not getting the actual racks. How do they go with this? How do they make something happen here?
They need to...
It'll be the third Roche next time it's up.
I think it'll be fourth, because both of those last ones had cheese. So I think it'll be fourth Roche. Because Troll did one very earlier in the game once he got his Mask Madness online, so that was fourth Roche. But I mean, they really need to take a fight on Team Spirit's side of the map. That's the thing. They keep taking these really nice team fights on their high ground, which yes is giving them their net worth back, giving them these leads, but like you said, it's not giving them objectives. So they need to keep their leads pushed out, go for a smoke play, and find a way to take a fight on Team Spirit's side of the map.
Pasha actually has a sheep stick finished as well now, so that's even more lockdown for the Troll, the Venomancer, whoever they need.
I'm actually starting to wonder if they don't initiate onto DK Phobos. He's doing so much work on this Beastmaster with his Primal Roars, popping any Lincolns he can with the Halberd, following up with the Roar. Sven now opts for his own Lincolns, but again, either way, he's not happy. Does he get stunned? He's not happy. Does he get disarmed? He's not happy. Doesn't matter which order DK Phobos uses this item and this ability. Either way, Sven's not hitting something.
He's actually got his own Lincolns now too. I didn't realize he had picked that up.
He just swapped it out now.
All right.
So their only hope now is to keep the Lincoln's buff active from Lena using it Sven, and then getting it double popped by DK Phobos.
Just to jump forward with the BKB coming out from Iceberg. They're looking to get any sort of pick off, trying to get this advantage to go high ground, but unfortunately they can't follow it up that easily. And FNG, that MKB hurts really, really bad. There's the Primal Roar coming out. They'll be able to go ahead, throw out the Stormhammer. Boat will come in as well. They'll try to push him around here, try to buy DK Phobos a little bit more time, but they still have the vision, and they will be able to take him out. They'll be able also to take down the Rubik. The Koala coming out here should be able to look at all this damage being thrown out. Ramsey's turned back around. Stormhammer comes in, and that's a very dead team. Looks like they're still trying to get the pace over here onto Biver. He's been a real thorn in their side. He's going to be able to just dodge around the trees, blink himself over, and TP out, but...
I mean, they could very easily push top and mid right now. Push in mid, make threaten a buyback, and maybe they take another fight. I mean, all their stuff's on cooldown, but so too is Team Spirits.
Well, they're going to force buybacks out at the very least right now.
Yeah.
They have to defend. They can't let them just walk into the base like that. In fact, we see that Lil, the wonderful support, will be able to drop off a TP scroll for Ramses too, so he can just go head himself back home. Lena popping forward immediately. There's the Hex with Pasha. Should be able to get this kill over on the Viber. The buyback comes out though from Venomancer and the Troll. Are they going to be satisfied with that? No, they're going to be satisfied with taking that tower though.
And I mean, they can just siege so quickly with Lena. The level 25 where she gets her extra fiery soul speed is ridiculous.
Yeah, they're gonna have God Strength up on Sven in like a second here too, so they could really just stay here in the base. They know that the rest of the team, they don't have their buybacks here, else they would have done them already. 20 seconds until DK Phobos comes back up. They're just mowing down these towers. In the meanwhile, they see their advantage in the opening. Rubik's up now. And
I think this is VP's cue to back up. With DK Phobos coming online, they're actually going to go for the mid here. This is a risky play, but it could pay off for them. There's still no Coddle who's been giving them so many problems.
And again, they pop the God Strength. They know that they can just chunk this down as fast as possible. Ruben just see now. Ruben steals War Cry. They turn back around. They've got the Lotus Orb up and over. Oh, there's the beautiful wall back in combo we were talking about. And immediately Ramsey's running forward, puts out a ton of damage. Looks like the Ice Blast on top of it, just the icing on the cake. And game 1 going over to the side of Virtus Pro.
That was actually so scary for a while there. They kept getting picked off by, you know, Sven kept getting picked off, Lena kept getting picked off, but just, you know, really nice patient play, keeping the farm up, keeping those net worths near the top or at the very top, and just really nice patient high ground play, waiting for the BKB of the troll to get lower and lower. Their own BKB is also dropping low, but I think VP just understanding that they had the high.
Standing on the porch in the night, thinking how we used to be way back in time. In time. Barefoot on the grass, open skies. I can feel it every time I close my eyes. My eyes, yeah. Can you remember when we were young and free, like queens up on the thrones? Never surrender, we're having too much fun. Could feel it in my bones. I was never alone.
You gotta listen up, listen up. There's not a thing that I can't get from you. Boy, I don't need that much, need that much. How can I tell you what I wanna do? I never needed you to give me things. I never needed gifts or diamond rings. All I ever need, all I ever need is here with you. There's a place where we can go, where it's always shining like the snow. Listen to your heartbeat, don't you know that I just wanna be with you. Baby, there is a place where we can go, where it's always shining like the snow. Listen to your heartbeat, don't you know that I just wanna be with you. Oh, I can't get enough, get enough. Don't ever let me be away from you. I'm gonna hold you tight, hold you tight. 'Cause you're the only thing that I can't lose. I never needed you to give me things. I never needed gifts or diamond rings. All I ever need, all I ever need is here with you. There's a place where we can go, where it's always shining like the snow. Listen to your heartbeat, don't you know that I just wanna be with you. Baby, there is a place where we can go, where it's always shining like the snow. Listen to your heartbeat, don't you know that I just wanna be with you. You can buy your way into my heart, but you don't see that I just want you. You get the things, but I don't care. Be there is a place where we can go, where it's always shining like the snow. Listen to your heartbeat, don't you know that I just wanna be with you. Baby, there is a place where we can go, where it's always shining like the snow. Listen to your heartbeat, don't you know that I just wanna be with you.
5 seconds remaining. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
Okay, guys, welcome back. This is the finals for the CIS qualifiers for ESL One Hamburg 2017. We saw a really impressive game coming out from Virtus Pro in game number 1. We saw that they were having some difficulties early on during laning phase. There were a lot of resources being dedicated to trying to take down no one in that mid lane on Lina, but did manage to, you know, split up, farm up, get the items that they needed, and then come back with an impressive victory. But this is game number 2 coming out here. First game of the series going over to Virtus Pro. Team Spirit start off with the Venomancer immediately again. Unfortunately, it looks like my co-caster did not make it into the lobby in time. So you're stuck with me. This is going to be a solo cast, and I'm going to do my best here to guide you through this all. But yes, we do see that Spirit picks up the Venomancer. They've done this frequently. They actually did this in their last game. They had Iceberg play this hero, and it had very good results early. Unfortunately, they just weren't able to continue to keep up the pressure into the later game with this particular hero, as the BKBs did start coming out. And they start to run into issues as Ramses just got stronger and stronger on his signature Sven. Over on the side of bans, we see IO has been banned out. They did play quite a bit of that, I believe, during, let's see, iPlay. They were playing against iPlay. They had a lot of IO pickup. Night Stalker gets banned just for the vision game, and also it puts a lot of pressure early over onto your supports, making sure that, you know, they're not alone during the nighttime, not letting that Night Stalker really start snowballing. We see Enchantress, Pasha, known for playing that Enchantress. He's played it several times now. I believe 2 games against Navi, 1 against Effect. Very useful there in the offlane. Did have a little bit of trouble, though, I believe, against Navi when he was playing it, because picked up, I believe it was a Bane Jug kind of combo that caused some issues for them, but won't be seeing that, and we will not be seeing the Pasha Darks here. That guy is just too good at jumping in with the vacuums. We watched him juke and break FNG's ankles in game number 1 as he tried to duck himself out into the trees. Definitely, you know, using that surge, ran around with the Ion Shell and actually managed to turn that into a nice kill for himself as he walked home. The Chen pickup on Team Spirit, this is something we're going to be seeing a lot of early pressure, a lot of early pushing coming out from Team Spirit, most likely. They do ban out the Brood Mother. That's usually something that's banned out against them because DK Phobos, of course, playing it, Iceberg plays it as well. But I suppose any sort of anti-push against their extreme push is something that Team Spirit does not want to see. Disruptor is going to get banned out, so I'm not sure if we're going to see something that teleports in, possibly. It's also a good, strong silence. The Bane gets banned out. That's something that Spirit has run before. They actually did a really disgusting combo using the Pugna and Bane combo before, and they also, I believe, one of the other teams we were casting used it with a Bat Rider and a Pugna. That was pretty gross, but no puck will be seen in this game as well. Earth Spirit, nice strong pickup here. We'll be able to roam early, and that's what I was wondering. I was wondering if we were going to see a Bat Rider pickup, just because of the fact that, you know, Disruptor is a really good counter to it, being able to glimpse him back, not worry about it. And Rubik, there's just too many good spells here to steal. You've got, of course, the Lasso, you've got Lich, Ice, Chain Frost rather, and you've got, you know, Magnetize coming out from Earth Spirit. So we saw FNG playing this last time. I'm not sure if that'll still be the case this time. Got a lot of nice spells. Clink's gonna get picked up over on Virtus Pro. That puts a lot of damage out, especially if they're able to get that lasso off. They actually opt to pick up a Weaver here. Weaver's gonna be nice. He does manage to kind of move around in these fights, being a little bit difficult to track unless you've got that sentry ward down. The only thing they really have to pop, they've got a couple things actually to pop Lincolns, but the big thing obviously is going to be the Bat Rider Lasso. So that's a nice pickup for them. We'll be able to dodge that until they start getting other things to pop Lincolns, in which case he might end up needing it, but the final bans coming out here. They don't want to co-op someone who's very mobile, able to move around quite a bit.
10 seconds.
And it looks like Team Spirit's trying to figure out what they want to do for the ban.
5 seconds.
Looks like we're going to have an offlane Bat Rider. I'm assuming that's going to be a Ramses playing Clinks. Pasha playing the Earth Spirit. We saw him really run around like crazy one of his games when he was playing the Earth Spirit, just having a great time with it. It was against Effect, where he just had free reign to do whatever he wanted there. Taking some time to discuss what they want to ban, because it looks like we're going very early pushing on the side of Team Spirit. Looks like they're really trying to give some focus. Well, I'm not sure what they want to pick up for a potential mid on the side of Virtus Pro. I mean, there's still a Lina in there that can do quite a bit of damage, does some D-push as well. That's a possibility. This is pretty important because this is no one's hero, and no one is one of those people that, you know, very, very good mid, one of the best mids in the world. One of the few mids that gives Smail a run for his money here as well, so they definitely want to make sure that they ban the right hero. They ban out the Mirana, that's been a pretty common pickup, and they actually pick up the Lina for Iceberg. So a bit of a denial pick will lend again to going towards that pushing, making sure you keep those fiery soul spirits up. This is going to be a nice
10 seconds
early
remaining.
pushing draft, it feels, coming out from Team Spirit, with the Weaver being able to, you know, be their backup plan.
remaining.
Try to make some space using this Chen, doing a lot of early ganks, and also try to push down towers. Space that way. Now Virtus Pro has to figure out what they want to send here mid. The Quap was banned out by them. Mirana was banned out by the side of Team Spirit. There's no longer a Lina left in the pool because Iceberg will be playing it. What would they want to pick up here? Look back at what they've run before. Looks like VP, they've run the Alk over in the mid before. I'm not sure that's something that they necessarily want to pick up here. They've also run Viper, which, you know, if you're looking for something that's going to be a lane dominator and also be able to kind of push back people early, it's not a terrible pick. I think they've also run the... No, I think they ran the Veno actually mid during that game. They've done Death Prophet as well, which is another good way to kind of mow down towers very, very quickly. They did run Ursa actually in one game versus Effect because we saw that Pikachu actually playing Broodmother in mid, went forward and got absolutely destroyed by Ramsey's Ursa. He just got a Soul Ring, started spamming out Urshock and destroying all of those little spider babies, but no one will actually be playing the Death Prophet, so that gives them a nice solid silence, gives them Crypt Swarm. Soul Siphon obviously is really, really good as well, has a huge range on it. And then, you know, you've got really nice pushing potential with the Exorcism. And of course, being able to use it during team fights or take Roche. So here we are, guys. Here are our two teams for game number 2. I have to say, I'm liking Virtus Pro just a little bit more here. Okay, so welcome again. This is the second game of the ESL One Hamburg close qualifiers. This is the finals for CIS region. I'm your caster, Moxie. Unfortunately, my co-caster did not get into the lobby in time, so you are stuck with me, just the play-by-play caster. I'm going to try my best to give you a full experience here, guys. Bugs coming out. Plus, it's a nice setup. And looking over at the draft coming out from Virtus Pro, I like this just a little bit more. It gives them the option to do split pushing. Clinks is going to pump out a lot of damage. The Death Prophet, of course, you know, having really solid spells. She'll be able to throw out silences. The Spirit Siphon is just a ridiculous spell. Does so much. And of course, you know, the Exorcism is kind of cherry on top of the whole kit coming out from this particular hero. And we've seen no one play this before. It does a ton. I believe it was paired up with a Faceless Void originally. So it doesn't have anything to kind of hold everyone in place this time, although you will have the slow coming out from the Chain Frost. And also you'll have, you know, Batrider Lasso holding at least one person in place. But it doesn't have quite as nice of a setup as it did in the game.
The battle begins.
It looks like Lil will be able to steal this route away from Iceberg. Seems like he was very unaware that that was going to be happening, and startled him a little bit. Looks like Pasha, he's looking to try to pull this wave over here. This is a strategy we see coming out from Batriders. We'll be able to go ahead and drag these creeps away. LTW doesn't seem very happy about this. Chikuchi's forward, tries to do a little body blocking, throw out a little bit more harass onto Pasha, but he should be absolutely fine. And while all this is going down, the creeps are coming out into lane and we'll be able to start chugging away on that tower. ILTW diving really, really far for this. I'm not sure why he's choosing to go all the way back. I guess he's just that upset about it. Tranquilize here. We'll be able to go ahead and get these creeps. He's actually stuck though. Needs to go ahead. Use a tango. He needs to be very careful. If anybody rotates, that could have been a very dead Weaver. Some movement coming out here in mid. We see already Solo sitting a little bit low. It's taking quite a bit of harass. Ramses is actually here in mid, so they actually sent no one into the safe lane with the Death Prophet. There's so much harass coming out from FNG though right now. Look at the Sadar creep. He just keeps nuking him down and he's forcing him like behind the tower. This little skelly man needs to run himself away. Oh, he's so low. Look at this. He's going to have to pop the Fairy Fire. The creeps. That Dragon Slave not quite. He's at 24. And luckily, right at that moment, the courier will show up with a salve. The harass coming out over here onto Ramses is actually unreal. Look at that. Yet another nuke coming out from the Sadar creep. Going to cancel out his full duration of the salve. Iceberg turning around. Light Striker right does land. And Lena, Iceberg, he's got to be so careful. Again, sitting very low, has his own salve. Will be able to put off a couple clicks over onto the creep. This is a jam-packed middle lane right now.
My thrift rewarded.
Bottom lane, it's the matchup of DK Phobos and no one trying to just trade off here, get their last hits and a little bit of harass onto each other. But the pressure coming out from this Chen, FNG just keeps throwing creeps over here into the lane, trying to cause some problems for Ramses. In fact, Ramses looks like he's got himself another salve. That's 2 consumables and a clarity that he's needed. And here's the rotation coming out again. We've got Biver and FNG and the Centaur creep looking to just push Ramses out, and he's missing CS right now. He can't do anything with this many people here in his lane. Give like some casual clicks over onto Biver, but there's the telekinesis lifting him up. They were looking to get that stop. It's just a little bit too far out. Can they get this return kill onto FNG? Yes, Solo will be able to get first blood onto the Chen. Feel really good for Solo and Ramses after getting bullied out of their own lane. Checking in with the other lanes here. Like Pasha's hit his level 2. Looked like he had to go back home. I'm guessing the Weaver's just been, you know, throwing out those casual clicks onto him, trying to just harass him out of lane. Meanwhile, bottom lane 2, we see that Death Prophet. Oh, we get another kill over here in mid. Looks like Iceberg actually going to go down this time. So despite all these resources that they're throwing at Ramses, he's actually coming out on top of this. And I think he's ferrying himself out. Yet another salve here on the courier. Yeah, another salve, another clarity. And ILTW in a little bit of trouble. He's taking a lot of burn damage here from the Firefly. He'll actually be forced to move himself back, pop his own salve. This is just consumable gaming, guys. The amount of pressure being placed on every single lane. It's insane. Bottom lane, we get the gank down over onto no one. We've got the Sadar. And there's the slow coming out, the roll coming in as well. He's still going to be able to get a kill though over onto Venomancer. DK Phobos will die, but they'll be able to get a kill over on one. And now Lil forced to be running himself back. They've got this army of creeps. There's another nuke being thrown out. Can they get it? Oh, they will. Looks like Biver will clean up. And now Venomancer coming back to lane. It's a lot more excitement going on in this second game here. First game, it seemed a little bit relaxed, a little bit more contented, kind of sit back and farm with the occasional let's throw everyone over at no one and Ramses, but got 5 kills in 4.5 minutes. And the sticky napalm is just so annoying. Pasha actually just going to chase around over here onto ILTW, try to put out as much harass as possible, knowing that he doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of regen, although he does have a bottle now, so that's going to provide him a little bit more regen and be able to stay in lane against Batrider, plus the wand, of course. But more pincering action again. They're just trying to disrupt no one. He's going to have to hide himself down here into the trees. Got a Venomancer, a Rubik, and FNG's got his creeps. Tornado coming out. They're going to try to use this to spot him out down here. There's nowhere that this Death Prophet can safely hide. Now look at these creeps. It's just... it feels like Navy SEALs going into position, just like, alright, target acquired. Soul Siphon coming out. We'll buy him a little bit more time. Should be able to maybe get the kill. No, it looks like he's not going to be able to grab DK Phobos just in time. Rotation coming out from Solo. That last hit will be able to get revenge. FNG now hiding himself into the trees. Will juke around, find himself a good position. And again, top lane, just the harass That's non-stop. There's the roll in though coming out from Lil. Still got their eyes over onto ILTW. Will be able to go ahead and make him pop that wand. And it looked like a fairy fire on top of that as well. Chen Creep hiding out over here onto the side as Solo hunts around, wants to get rid of him, but the harass coming out from DK Phobos. Again, Venomancer, you've played against him in your pubs. He's just so annoying to have to deal with. All of these wards just pumping out damage, pumping out slow. He's still chasing after Solo here. He even manages to grab that bounty rune. This is going to be a dead Solo. They need to have someone rotate and maybe get some sort of a revenge kill here. Looks like Solo actually going to be able to make it out. We have Clinks around the corner. Ramses, he sees his opportunity. He wants to take this Venomancer out. Nobody wants to deal with him. And we'll be able to use that Scrape to get a kill. There's still Biver nearby. Iceberg also coming around the corner. They've got the Shrine up. We'll go forward. They throw the Telekinesis, followed up with Light Strike Array, and there's just too much damage. And now it looks like Lil gonna have to roll himself out of a bad situation.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
You know, it's a tough thing when your jungle isn't safe. You know, you feel like you can be safe in your own home, but before you know it, there's a Ramses Skelly Man running at you, and Solo's gonna take him down. F&G just doing so much work on this Chen. Now we have double damage rune that's about to run out here over on Iceberg. They still have everyone else sitting and waiting in position. That lift coming out from Biver does so much work because if you can get that off, you can get a lot of these other spells. The Light Strike Array is guaranteed setup unless someone has Force Staff, but it's way too early for that right now. Roll in. Iceberg will be able to move himself out of the way. And we see more pressure being placed down here bottom over onto no one. They do have this nice ward giving them vision. She should realize that there is a lot of unfriendly people here. Ramsey's thinking that he was safe earlier when he went to do that rotation onto the Venomancer, but then the rest of the team just showed up in full force. This is just kind of the draft that we're seeing coming out from Team Spirit. It's very aggressive. They've got a lot of pushing potential between the Chen and, of course, the Venomancer.
Money to burn.
All of this, there's basically no pressure being placed up here onto ILTW. You know, occasional harass coming out from Pasha, being able to stack some of the sticky napalm and also throw out the Firefly. But otherwise, there's been really no one in his lane. Alright, I lied. There's been a Lil that shows up occasionally. Occasionally Lil will show up, try to put even more pressure, but it's a Weaver. It's really hard to end him down when you don't have any hard stuns. And again, bottom lane. Soulfire coming out over onto DK Phobos will be able to get that kill. We do see the rotation coming out. They're not going to be able to go after that. They don't want to have to deal, especially when they see the other TP coming out from Lil here. It is just Lil though, so I'm not sure if F&G will want to move forward on this. Biver coming forward, taking advantage of the fact that he can do a little guessing. They do spot out the Earth Spirit. It's a nice Wild Ring Ripper over here on the side too for F&G if he feels so inclined. Otherwise it's fairly quiet. Looks like Weaver went home from the top lane. I think he got a little too much harass thrown onto him. Pasha actually hit level 7. No lasso yet. They do spot over onto the side though. They'll be able to take down Biver. He's been a thorn in the side of no one this entire time. Creep's turning back around though. Are they going to be able to get this? No, they're going to back themselves off. They do get the kill over onto Lil. No one's just a little bit too fast. Does not get landed with that Light Strike Ray. Iceberg's in a lot of trouble here. He actually gets taken down with the Crypt Swarm. And they'll be able to throw out the, boy, the Chain Frost doing so much damage. It looks like no one's still going to get taken down though. Nice rotation coming out from ILTW. He does have his eyes over here on a particular Lich, trying to get that last hit. And he gets a double kill for his efforts. So, Ghosts get popped down here in the bot lane, so does Chain Frost. They do get themselves a couple kills, but then at the last minute, ILTW, he makes his way down to the bot area, himself a double kill, and that's the core. That's definitely worth it to like go down to the bot lane, stop your farming, especially because he is, you know, I don't want to say necessarily struggling against the Bat Rider, but it's not the most comfortable lane when you've got all that sticky napalm and, you know, occasionally have that wonderful Firefly being thrown everywhere. They do try to initiate though down here on DK Phobos. He's all silenced up. Will try to juke himself around in the trees, but they say, oh, to heck with your trees. We're just gonna break them down. There's the Gale coming out from Phobos. He's trying to find an opening. We'll be able to go. Oh, he's sitting solo. The Crypt Swarm's coming out. Byver's stealing Crypt Swarm as well, but it looks like no one finds him over here in the corner. They will be able to get the Radiant Courier during all this. Had a one of the Tomes of Knowledge. Could be a lot worse for them. Weaver's still down here in the vicinity. During all that excitement, I forgot to change net worth.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
So much pressure. They just seem to like to put as much pressure as they can over here onto no one. They'll actually drop the bugs down. Soul Siphon coming out, Spirit Siphon out. They're coming back around. That's a nice save coming out. Well, they'll actually be able to turn around, take down Byver, force Weaver to use the time lapse. And unfortunately, that silence just maybe a little bit too slow for no one to be able to keep that Weaver in place. But nice kill over onto Byver. Now with all of this, how many kills do we have under no one's belt now? He's got 5 kills, 3 assists. So the pressure is definitely on, but at the same time, he's racked up the kills now, and that's really scary. You don't want to let this guy get ahead. ILTW is still hanging out here in the bot lane. They don't want to give up hope on possibly getting this kill. The Gale actually not connecting over onto no one. He's going to try to run himself around, use a Spirit Siphon, buy himself some more time. And Spirit Siphon actually breaks with that nuke with Rubik. ILTW will be able to get the kill.
Radiant's bottom tower.
Alright, we've got the mass TPs coming out. They don't want to give up this tower. Beautiful front forward here with the lasso. Going to be able to immediately grab ILTW, take him out. The Laguna Blade just going to totally erase our poor Earth Spirit over here. The Shikuchi gets picked up from Root. Will just run himself backwards, turn themselves back around. Nice ultimate coming out. They're trying to put some damage over onto Ramses. Hyver's standing nearby here. He's actually going to be able to run forward, get the kill over onto Pasha, and it looks like Solo's in a lot of trouble too. Light Strike Array comes in, does not quite connect. Lots of damage coming out from Ramses here, but he has to be careful because he does have all of that lovely Venomancer stuff over here onto him as well. And now Byver, he knows they've got a Sentry Ward on the side. He wants to go back in. Can't decide where exactly he wants to go, and he actually got Bone Walk, not the Shikuchi, obviously. That's on the other team. We'll be able to get that kill. Probably going to pay for this with his life. Try to juke around. No, he's got Bone Walk up again. Oh, man. Byver making use of the spell. They keep tabs over onto Ramses and they realize that he's left. All that fighting, though, and still no bottom tower. This is why I usually have a co-caster, guys, because sometimes I mess up. So yeah, the Bone Walk, Rubik must be really happy to steal that. I was wondering, because it looked like he had been invisible for way longer than a Shikuchi, and then I remembered, yeah, Shikuchi, same teammate, can't steal your teammate's spells. That would be incredibly broken. So right now, Ramses at the top of the net worth, 4.9k. 4.7 over up and running on Weaver and 4.5 on Death Prophet. And despite all of the attention that no one has been getting there in the bot lane, worked out okay for him. He got 5 kills under his belt, does have 4 deaths, but 3 assists. And sitting at 3rd top net worth. They do get a kill though over onto Iceberg here in the jungle, and that's the scary thing about having a Clink on the map, especially when he's top of the net worth. They do spot over here onto the side. They're going to be able to try to grab Pasha. Lots of damage coming in. Firefly comes out though. Oh, it looks like DK Phobos is just absolutely toast. Burnt to death by Pasha and a Crypt Swarm. We'll be able to get a denial though over here on the side as well. Stop, there's just too many creeps coming out here from FNG. They get the kill. There's the Chain Frost thrown out. We'll get a couple bounces. Hand of God comes out. Looks like now, look, ILTW, he's still hot on the prowl, wants to get this kill over onto Solo. They'll be able to go ahead, clean up over onto Lil, and this little bug, he's just so slippery. We'll be able to get the kill over onto the Lich, and Ramses again, last man standing.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Definitely a huge fight. See the fight recap after all that. There's the lasso coming out though, immediately over here onto Lena. They will be able to get the kill. Ramsey will be the one to clean it up, and they still know that there's a little bug over here. Pasha taking a lot of damage will be able to go move himself over onto the high ground and blink himself away before that last little plague ward can touch him. A little bit of shrine time. I like to joke in my pubs that the family or the team that shrines together stays together, and then I get really really mad when people use it without me. Especially when I ping that I'm on my way. But, you know, that's Dota 2 for you. It happens. Let's see here. No one. Got Exorcism back up. They do spot Ramses out over here on the corner, and they say, alright, you need to be careful, Phobos, because you've got a little Skelly man in the vicinity, and he's gonna be able to pump out a lot of damage and take you down if you're not careful. Meanwhile, while this is going down, FNG has plunked himself down in a lane here. It looks like he's going for the Ags as his next item. And already Ramses, he makes his way into this dire jungle, gonna be able to go and farm up the creeps. And try to starve them out of their own area. Deso's going to be online shortly for him as well.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
A lot of creeps over here on the side. He will go ahead and get himself a nice tasty one. And the push is still going on down here in the bot tower. DK Phobos trying to just put as many of these little plague wards down, take it out. And it looks like they're just going to go for a full-on trade.
Is under attack.
We do have Exorcism up and running over onto no one. I'm not sure they're going to go to... Yeah, they won't actually pop this here. I think they'll save that for the team fights, considering they have that cling. Bottom tower does finally go down. And we're seeing... They know that they're up top. They'll just invade the Radiant jungle and instead try to farm it up that way.
Tower has fallen.
We're getting closer and closer to this Blink Dagger. Which is going to be really, really good for him. There is, of course, an iceberg standing nearby. And they're gonna move together, maybe try to find some sort of jump? I lied. It's just gonna be some creeps to hit. They do realize that there was a ward over onto the side. It's already taken down. Oh, but the jump forward immediately! The smoke breaks. Lasso coming in immediately over here onto the side. Gonna be able to try to grab Lena. Lots of damage coming out from the chain. Bouncing off of those neutrals over onto the side. Biver, the Soul Siphon's too much for him. He's gonna get taken down. FNG now trying to run himself away. But this Pasha, he's out for the kill here. Follow up with ILTW. I don't know if he really wants to go in on this. This is looking real scary. Venomancer actually trying to run himself out, but he's on the wrong side of the river. The stun comes out from Lil. There's the medallion being used over onto DK Phobos. They'll be able to take him down. And ILTW, this time, the last man standing. They ping out over here on the side. They're like, there's got to be a ward there. And there was a ward there. It literally just went down.
Illusion.
Bloodstone, next item being worked on here by Iceberg. He's having a little bit of a rough here. They've jumped him a couple times. He's had 6 deaths. FNG just back at work, trying to get that Ags. Does have 2 components of it now, though, so it should be coming online fairly soon, as long as he doesn't have any more deaths. And Rubik, of course, you know, he was getting closer and closer to that blink. That obviously set him back quite a bit in that last engagement. It's like another altercation coming on over here onto the side. They're going to be able to go ahead and use the Ghost for the Roche. Rams is going to go ahead. They do have the medallion up and running. So Roche is going down very, very quickly. And I don't think that the side of Team Spirit wants to contest this. They've already got that. Aegis pick up over here. Went over onto no one as he is the favorite target, so it seems, for the side of Team Spirit.
My thrift rewarded.
And they're going to make their way down to the bottom tower. They do have the smoke over on Pasha and over on Solo. Rod of Atos is going to be picked up over on Solo. That is an amazing item. I'm a big fan of that item just because, you know, it gives you a little bit more in to work with. And of course, the range on it is just absolutely insane.
My just reward.
Invisibility.
It's like Team Spirit grouping up a little bit over here. I don't think they're gonna... Yeah. They do spot out over here on the side immediately. No one. He does Aegis. I'm not sure if they want to go and jump on him necessarily, but they will find themselves a Lil. And I think that's going to be good enough for them. Although, yeah, they will be able to land Light Strike Array. The Science comes out, but again, they'll take him down. Ramsey's pumping out so much damage over onto DK Phobos. He's trying to run himself out, but the Soul Siphon just... The slow coming out, plus the damage coming out from Ramses is just too good here. Solo, now he's tailing over here onto Iceberg. They do spot out, though, that there's a Weaver nearby. ILTW, nice dodge, though, coming out from Light Strike Array. Chain Frost comes out to only get one bounce, though, over onto Iceberg, and he's still got this little bug running around in the back. The Silence comes out from the Death Prophet, but he's going to be able to time-lapse. Eul's coming out as well now. Lena's in a little bit of trouble. Tries to go move herself out, and it looks like we're going to lose FNG. We're going to lose Iceberg as well. Ramses is on a mega kill. It's been really important during a lot of these fights too that Ramses actually does not actually fall in most of these. He's only actually died once, but he's come very, very close a couple times now. If we go ahead and look at the graphs, Spirit having about a 1,000 net worth lead at around, I want to say like 18, 19 minutes, but it's starting to trend over to the side of VP as they're taking really nice engagement. These smokes have just not been working out for Team Spirit. They need to be really careful now. I think they need to reevaluate how they want to approach a lot of this because Ramses is getting bigger and bigger and has not fallen except once in all of these fights. The hood over up and running on Death Prophet, super important. And you've got all the magic damage coming out from the Venomancer. And of course your Lina. It's making her quite tanky and difficult to take down. Plus the Eul's giving her a little bit more time whether she wants to use it offensively or defensively. But the tower gets denied bottom. DK Phobos says, I don't want to give you that full amount of gold. And we do have Ramses. He's on the prowl over here. Immediately jumping forward, though, they want to just obliterate DK Phobos. They've had enough of this Venomancer. And now they can turn their attention to the tier 2 on the side. In the meanwhile...
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
Now they do have Exorcism. I think they're going to save it for the high ground here just because they do have Aegis. Mid tower is going to get taken down over by Team Spirit. They know they can't defend that tier 2 at this particular time. So they're going to be happy with this tier 1. Maybe try to push the wave a little bit more, but then go back. They don't want to give up buildings in their base at 22 minutes. And Exorcism gets popped over here by no one. Coupled with the fact we've got a Desolator over on the Clinks. This tower is just going to melt. And the rest of the side of Spirit not bothering to come home to defend. It's literally just Biber right now, although Lina making her way over. And we do see that ILTW takes the mid tower. So best possible outcome, getting that mid tier 2. They still have their bottom tier 3. And of course having the double damage rune on ILTW probably doesn't hurt. We've got Dragon pick up now for Chen as he has his Ags. Not sure what just happened. Lots of pings coming out, though. Ramses a little bit in the danger zone here. Although, now I would say that DK Phobos is actually more in the danger zone. Because Ramses can easily burst him down. This Venomancer pick, unfortunately, is not working out really great for the side of Team Spirit. Venomancer not in the top net worth. In fact, just a little bit higher than... the Earth Spirit support. More wards get dropped. Want to keep tabs. They know that Clinks has been hanging out in their jungle, and they don't want to be able to, you know, they did smoke earlier directly under a ward, so it's possible they're grouping again to get some sort of a smoke. It looks like Iceberg getting his Fiery Soul stacks up as well. And yeah, that looks like all the coverage here. One sentry ward over here. We'll be able to know that there is a ward, but they don't have any sentries on the side of the Dire in that particular area. They won't know that. Not sure what's going on here. It looks like they really want to smoke. I'm guessing the Venomancer is just pushing out the waves and they're waiting for him. Meanwhile, in mid... I say meanwhile way too much. I've just realized that. You have Clinks doing a bit of scouting. They've got to realize that something's up since no one else is showing on the map except for DK Phobos and ILTW, and they're making their way down now, even though Clink's in the top lane. Still doing a little bit of scouting, wondering where everyone is. We'll be able to push out this wave. And a D-ward comes out over on the side. Chen popping his ultimate. And do know that Weaver's nearby. He just ran right over that sentry ward. There's the lift coming out though from Biver. The Silence will come out over onto Weaver as well. Stones get kicked off. Blink's trying to fight though. This is going to turn into an actual fight. Pasha going to be able to pop the Lincolns though. And there's the Venomancer ult coming out on top of that. All the Chain Frost plus the Magnetize. This is looking very bad for Spirit. Looks like FNG will get taken down. Still trying to run out over here is the lead. She's silenced up. She's going to get murdered. And now ILTW trying his best to run out. Biver going to be able to make it up. But look at these ghosts. They just keep chasing. Weaver just a little bit too speedy. Not going to be able to kill, but they'll turn this into a siege. Oh, they get the Chen creep too. And the only person they lost during that was Batrider. Pasha is the sacrificial lamb in order to get the tier 2 mid, but they also take out that pesky Venomancer. They take out Chen as well, and they get the Chen creep. And with Exorcism down, and with Lasso and Pasha down, just throwing creeps up into the air. It's fun, you know, get the last hit that way. Efficiency. Pasha's up and running though. Did you see ILTW? He's doing some casual farming over on the side. Will make himself scarce as Batrider comes around the corner. Let's see, we've got, what do we have for items? Iceberg just having a really difficult time on this Lena. You know, he picked up this Bloodstone a while ago, but he's got 8 deaths right now. Despite, you know, having Chen trying to heal him up, they just target him really, really heavily. I think he's been the lasso-y of choice in the last 2 to 3 fights. And of course, DK Phobos just cannot catch a break. I won't lie, part of me, you know, this is Venomancer. Does he deserve any sort of mercy? But yeah, he's having a real rough time. He's actually 10 and 13. So people have been very, you know, anti-Venomancer. They're like, how do you deal with this hero? Well, take a look at this game, guys, because that's how you deal with a Venomancer. VP not even really concerned. They're making sure that they target him, take him out of these fights as early as they can, grabbing hoods to make sure that they can keep themselves alive during these engagements. Here's your option. And the BKB pickup on Ramses now is going to make it even more difficult for the side of Spirit. Less kiting, won't be affected by a lot of the spells. Lots of mobility items over here in Batrider. A little hiding out here in the trees. They're looking to maybe get the jump. They actually spot ILTW. The roll forward immediately. They're waiting for that Shikuchi to be up. Pasha does find him over here on the corner. He goes ahead, he uses the dust, but in the meanwhile, Iceberg comes forward, gets the Laguna Blade off over onto Lil. And that fight quickly turns around. There's still a Pasha over here, and Light Strike Array comes out. That's another Bloodstone charge now for Iceberg, something that he sort of...
I deserve this.
Chivas is next on the list here for no one. Be able to slow them down a little bit more, cut back on their mobility, and just let Ramses run around once he's popped that BKB. Now they do have the sentry. Oh, Biver just gets 2-shot. Oh, poor Biver. Now DK Phobos, for some reason he feels like maybe I can fight this with my Weaver here, but he's going to have to run himself out, and there's going to be the heal coming out from Chen. Soul Siphon coming out as well. Still giving chase onto ILTW. It looks like he should be able to get himself out, but Bonewalk, oh, Randy, so speedy. They do get the silence off. We'll be able to roll forward just maybe a little bit too far coming out from Lil. He's on the wrong side of the tracks here, but their eyes are still on the prize. ILTW, they want to get this kill. Lil, he's standing nearby, does find himself an FNG, and is waiting for Ramses to show up. Look at just that amount of damage coming out from his clanks. That Deso with the medallion and then the attack speed just melt these heroes. Poor Biver. Biver just took a look at him, and 2 shots, he was just toast. Now he's got his eyes over here onto these giant ancient creeps.
Illusion.
Roche is back up. No one's gonna use these lovely... It's not ladies, actually. What are these? Are these bats for this particular set? In any case, we'll go ahead so that they can take this Roche really, really safely. Double damage rune actually outside. Ramses is going to be even... No. How much damage does this guy do? This is like rapier levels, guys. This is so scary. These supports just can't go anywhere near this guy, or else they're just going to get evaporated. shrines get pinged out, Ramsey's gonna go ahead, get his mana back up and running before they decide to go for the high ground here. I'm a little disappointed, I won't lie. I was hoping that we would see Ramses go get himself a pick off with this double damager and just see kind of like how many licks does it take to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? How many hits does it take a Ramses to murder a hero on the side of the Dire? And I definitely sympathize with the supports over on the side of the Dire because that's usually me who gets murdered. I'm usually the one person who's out on warding duty and somehow there's just a Clinks there. But it's also one of those moments where you just kind of laugh. At least I do. I laugh really hard because, you know, I'm very squishy and it seems so incredulous that I could get murdered that quickly. I think I also had a Kunkka one time that had Rapier, Daedalus, and all that. This was way back in the day, and he actually hit a creep wave and one-shot me with the cleave damage. So here we go. Pasha's getting into position here. He's looking for anyone he can grab. Iceberg's looking really good right now as Death Prophet comes forward here, has the cheese, doesn't have the exorcism up quite yet, but Ramses, he's got so much damage, they don't need it right now. All eyes on Pasha. Firefly just running out actually. ILTW, he moves himself into position. They want to get the jump over here onto Clinks. He does have Aegis though, so they're going to have to do a lot. BKB gets used and FMG is going to be running away for his life. He's actually just going to get obliterated. Well plays coming out from Ramses. Indeed, they're really happy with this push. BKB is just about to go down. They're going to go ahead, TP themselves, push out this creep wave, and then probably just repeat. Oh, but they find Viper. Looks like it was going to be 3 hits, and looks like no one will be able to follow up. There's a nice lasso coming out on ITW. He can't afford to be taken out like this. He will fall. Ramses still has that Aegis. He's sitting really, really low, about 60-something hit points, but they still fall. They get Iceberg. He has to use the suicide button on that Bloodstone. There are a ton of these little ghosts flying around. The GG gets called. The game will go yet again to Virtus Pro. Oh, Aegis finally gets popped at the very end. Alright guys, that was it for game number 2. This is a best of 5 series for the CIS closed qualifiers. Over here on ESL One Hamburg, we will have Forge back for game number 3, so you won't have to listen to me prattle on and on, but thank you for being patient and listening to me, and we'll see you back for game number 3.